to creating our matrices and our matrix transformations. First thing we want to do is we want to do 1 plus expected return, and we start with 1 plus B8 risk-free rate. Forgot the equal sign. 1 plus risk-free rate. Scroll that down. Next one tells us to put in 1 or 100%. So I'm going to put 100%. It's 1, so I'm going to put 1. So it's 1 or 100%, depending on the format. Oh, copy the arrows and get that back. So if that doesn't happen to you, that's fine. It's just when I copied this cell, it also copied the arrow here. But we don't need sorry, my computer is slow because I'm uploading the earlier videos. Okay, so we have prepped what we need for our matrix transformations and our and the linear algebra. These are eigenvectors that have been derived to streamline portfolio weights and portfolio standard deviation calculations. I have put the article from 1972 that derived this, and it's still used in your Excel homework folder. It's Merton 1972. Okay, so let's start with A. A is our inverse matrix that takes advantage of our J and I columns. We do matrix multiplications together with our variance covariance matrix. So I'm going to start with M matrix multiply on parentheses. I'm going to do matrix multiply again because I want to multiply the matrices twice. First I'm going to multiply the inverse of my variance covariance, and then I'm going to multiply this by my J by my 1s. Okay, and what this does is this enables us to transform this matrix into just one column, or not even a column, sorry, a cell. So I do my matrix multiplication, and then I transpose J36 through J41, which is my 1s. Simply multiply it by 1 to have that column. In matrix multiplication, my number of columns has to equal my number of rows. That is the rule. That's why I have those ones. That's the sole purpose of them. And I multiply this by the matrix inverse, which is my B36 through G41. Close again, and then I have I36, which is again. Now this is my, sorry, this is J for this one. J36 through J41. J36, J41, J36, J41, close parentheses. Okay, great. We've got our first eigenvector. Now we're going to go with our B eigenvector, and again, this is also a matrix multiplication. What I'm doing is I'm creating an inverse. I'm dividing my variables, and I do risk-free, not risk-free, expected rate of return, including the risk-free rate, times 1, expected return squared, and then divided by this, and then 1 squared. This is just linear algebra manipulations. J36. So what I'm doing here, I'm literally just copying these formulas. J36, J41, close, matrix inverse, B36 through G41. And notice once I finished typing in this range, it highlights it. So it also helps me know that I entered this correctly. Close parentheses. And I have for my second one here, I have I36, I41. Closed. Okay, excellent. And my C will be, again, matrix multiplication. Oh, let me show you a trick. So notice here how my A, B, and C eigenvectors are basically, I'm doing matrix multiplication of J36, meaning my ones times J36. I do or my J column times I column, and then I do I column times I column. Other than that, these formulas are the same. So what I can do is I can copy this formula, but I don't want to copy and paste it here because it will give me an error message. Let's see. Why is it giving me an error message? I didn't lock any cells. So if you see, now this shifted downwards and I don't really have, I have a blank row in my matrix. So what I want to do instead, in order, I could lock these columns, but it's a lot of work for 3 formulas. So what I can do instead, I can copy the formula in the formula bar. So I can copy like this, and then it copies the formula verbatim. It doesn't transfer cell references. So see, this is the same number. And now what I need to do is I just need to change my J36 in here to I36. And again, if it's easier, if you don't want to mess around with Excel, and if it's easier to just type it in, that's fine with me. Okay, let's make sure I have J by J, J by I by I. Excellent. Okay, now my deltas are derived from these eigenvectors. So what I do is my delta is going to be, and this is not to be confused by the delta in options, A times C minus B squared. So A times C minus, sorry, move this, just 8 times C minus B squared. All right, and then my last one is going to be 1 over B minus A times 1 plus risk-free rate. Or I already have, it tells me to do I35 because my I35 is already the risk-free rate. One over B minus A times my risk-free rate. Right, 159 minus B58 times I35. Just verifying my formulas. My gamma, 59 times I35. Okay, now the spreadsheet already had pre-populated. We have our standard deviations. This is just sourced from the earlier columns.